Hello, hello. Thanks for joining. Can you hear me okay?
We can. I can.
Perfect. All right. I'm going to go ahead and get started. This is being recorded, so any ladies that can't attend immediately will be able to watch the recording later. I'm going to try to make this one a little bit shorter and sweet. I'm going to share my screen with you guys right now. And let's do this. Here we go. All right. So this training is for those of you that got your call. You are now official. Congratulations. It is a very exciting time. I still remember the very moment that I received my call. I was walking into a restaurant for lunch with my mom, and she had been visiting. That was her last day here on the island. I received the call, and the onboarding specialist said, "Hi, I'm calling, and I want to know if you're ready to become a part of the LuLaRoe family." And I remember screaming, "Am I ready? I hope you're ready, because I've been ready." It was a long wait. I did have almost, let me see, March, April, May, June. So 90 days on the queue was for me. I signed up back in March and I got onboarded mid-June. So I do still remember like it was yesterday, and it is truly a very exciting time. The very first thing that I would advise you to do is shout it from the rooftops. Share your great news, because this is just the beginning of making that dream come true for you. So share with your sponsor, call her up, text her, message her, let her know so she can add you to all of our onboarded team chats and team pages. Some of the teams, like Team Unicorn Wranglers and Lula Rockstars, have separate Q Club pages from their official onboarded pages. So you want to make sure that you're added to those and some of the onboarded chats as well. And you might also want to make an announcement on your personal Facebook page. If you haven't already told your family and friends that you're doing this, or if you have only told a few select people, this might be the time to share that link on your wall. Let them know that you're doing this, that you've joined the movement. Talk about your why. Talk about what drove you to do this. Share your excitement. And I know that a lot of people are a little bit weary about sounding salesy or not wanting to be that person that clogs the news feed with a bunch of, direct sales stuff. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just telling you that as people who love you and who support you, they'll want to share in your great news as well. So do that. Post it to your Instagram account. Open your Facebook group. If you've already opened it, go live. Let them know. Tell them people want to share in this moment with you, and you should be excited, and you should be happy, and you should be proud. It's a great day. I have a few things that I would like to talk to you that I feel that you should get in place now that you've placed that initial order over the phone. You have, anywhere between a couple of days to a whole week to wait for your inventory, depending where you are in the country. As of right now, they only ship out of California. So my East Coast girls tend to wait a whole week or even a little bit more before their inventory arrives. Those on the West Coast can get it, within 2 or 3 days sometimes, but it just depends how they are with shipping at the time and where you are located. They have announced an East Coast warehouse in the works. It may open before the end of 2016, so let's keep eyes and ears peeled for that. But for now, let's say you have about a week. What do you do with that time now? Besides, go out and celebrate and do some dancing maybe. Well, first things first, you've shouted from the rooftops, you've opened your Facebook group. If you haven't done that yet, shared your news. Now, inventory. You have, at the very minimum, 300 pieces of Lula coming to your house. They're on their way. What are you going to do with it? choose your inventory management tool. So is that going to be, are you going to keep track of your inventory using only Bless and Build? Are you going to input your numbers on there and just make that whatever they say you have on hand is what you have on hand? Or are you going to maybe use QuickBooks? I know that some people are really great and do really well managing inventory through QuickBooks. I am not one of those people. QuickBooks is completely foreign to me. I am handing it over to my accountant as far as taxes and cash flow and all of that goes, because it seems overwhelming to me. But if you know how to figure out QuickBooks, more power to you. Definitely use that tool. I know it is a great tool if you do know how to use it. What I personally use, I don't use either of those. I use a spreadsheet that was shared with me by Travis Capps. He's Autumn's husband, our upline coach. He created a very simple, quite frankly, Excel sheet that has just formulas on these tables, and you put how many of each size and each style you have on hand, and then the following table has how many you want to have on hand, and then the third table will tell you, okay, so from what you want to have to what you do have, this is how many you need to order. And it will calculate it automatically for you as you input those numbers. That's what I use. I live and die by that sheet. It's super simple, and it is available to be downloaded on our team page, the Roe Nation team page. If you cannot get that file to open, let me know. I'll email it to you. It's been the best way that I found. I get a visual of what my inventory situation looks like. So that's what I've chosen to use, because I don't know how it is now with the new Bless and Build, but before, when it was only one Audrey was terrible at math, and she never kept track of inventory correctly. Sometimes it would show that I had 10 leggings when I knew for a fact that I had 100. So I never relied on Audrey before for my inventory count. That's why I chose that sheet, and why fix what I'm broken, right? So that's why I've kept with it. So my initial advice would be to pick your inventory management tool, and then you're going to want to add that initial inventory that you purchase to Bless, because you buy it through Build, but you have to put it on Bless so that you can invoice your customers from it, right? That's where you're going to make your sale from. So I know that right now they have a tool in Bless where you import to accept your inventory onto Bless. So I will make sure that I post a screenshot on that when I posted this entire training to our team page, and then you can see what I'm talking about. If it doesn't populate automatically, it's been very hit or miss. Some of my girls have had their initial inventory populate automatically into Bless. Some of them had to do it manually, one by one. And some of them were able to use this accept inventory new feature. So it really just depends, how the system is working that day and how the rep inputs all of your stuff into the system. So make sure that you have everything that you've ordered showing up in Bless. You will also want to, at this time, purchase additional inventory if you're going to do that. So say you chose, the first package option, and that only includes OS leggings as of right now, but you logged on and TC is up and available. First of all, let me know, because I'm always hunting for TC. And second of all, go ahead and grab yourself some, right? This is the time to do that. This is the time to purchase, say, if you want to add TC or if you want to add an extra line, go ahead and order that, because you will want those to arrive pretty much with your initial inventory so you can launch it all at once at the same time, correct? Now, one piece of advice that I have, if you are thinking about making the extra purchase and investing a little bit of extra money, it's completely up to you. We can each start with, however much we feel like our group can support. Don't spread yourself too thin. Don't go ahead and decide that you want to right off the bat carry every single line. You're going to shoot yourself in the foot pretty much, because you're not going to be able to keep up right off the bat with keeping all that inventory beefed up and restocked right away, right? So it's better to maybe add only one extra line, or even take that money that you're going to invest and put it into the lines that are already included in your package, but purchase more of each size so that you have more choices for your customers. When I go to somebody's VIP page and I'm shopping, I would rather choose from 10 to 15 tops in my size than only 2 or 3 options. Because if I only have 2 or 3, it kind of looks like it's already been picked over, or, you know, that the consultant didn't really think, oh, you know, she thinks that my size is not really worth her investment or whatnot. So make sure that you don't spread yourself too thin. Always think, go deep before wide. You're going to hear this over and over and over again as you learn about the business. And it's definitely one of my biggest pieces of advice. Now, another thing that you're going to want to do regarding inventory is making sure that all the prices are correct in Bless. Sometimes when you put in the inventory at first, you will see that the pricing that Bless is showing is the wholesale price. That's most definitely not what you want to charge your customer. If you are in doubt, there is a price sheet on the Row Nation team page. It is under the albums and it says price sheet on it. Just click on that. It will tell you the wholesale and the retail price of each item that we currently produce. So you will want to do that. It also has a video of how to change inventory pricing on that. I'll make sure to link all of that for you guys right under this slide in the comments once I post the training to the team page as well. Okay, so that's another thing that you're going to want to do. Before I forget, before you are able to go on and make any extra purchases, you will need to make sure that your account has been validated. This is something that you should have done while in queue, okay? It's that step where you go on to build and you go to your account and it's going to tell you, you know, validate account. You're going to choose that option. LuLaRoe is going to make 2 very small deposits, maybe just a few cents. And once those deposits drop into your account, you're going to want to go back and validate it by telling them exactly how much those deposits were for. That will let them know that, okay, yes, that account belongs to you. You're able to check that account. You're able to tell them exactly how much was deposited. And that kind of verifies that you are you and that is your account and you're good to go. Okay, so you're going to want to have that done before you make any purchases, because I'm pretty sure the system doesn't let you make purchases until you've done that. It was not a step that I had to complete when I onboarded because it wasn't the same system, but I'm fairly certain that that's how it's working right now. And another thing, how to track where your inventory is. You place that order. When is it going to arrive? How long does it take? Where is it? Oh my God. Download the UPS app. Okay, like first things first. That is, I live and die by that app. I used to keep better track of my shipments. Really, sometimes my app will say you have 6 boxes coming today, and I'm like, I don't even know what's coming today. It will just be Christmas. It will be a big surprise. But I know that first shipment, you don't have that luxury of just being like, whatever, it's whatever comes. No, you know exactly what's coming and you want to know exactly when it's coming. And so just be sure to download that app, sign up for my UPS. I think it's called My UPS Choice or UPS My Choice or something like that. And it's super exciting to see that shipment tracking and knowing exactly when you're going to get your goodies. All right. Now, next step, your back office. This is a list of things that I suggest that you familiarize yourself with and do steps to complete before that inventory arrives. In addition to the inventory management, importing everything, making sure the pricing is right, you want to prime your account. This is so your very first deposit from LuLaRoe can take up to 10 days to hit your bank account. So if you wait to make your very first sale the day of your launch, then it's going to take about 24 hours for the funds to be released by your customer's bank. And then that is going to post into Audrey. And then it can take a few more business days for the money to actually show up in your account. Now, for me, nowadays, it takes, once it posts to Audrey, I usually have it by the next day if the next day is not a weekend. This is dependent on your bank. Some banks will hold it a little bit longer, but that very first deposit took 8 business days. It was like 11 days total because there was a weekend in between. And it was a long weekend, I think. But it took 11 days total to drop to my account. So then if that had happened right after launch, that's how much longer you have to wait before you're able to put in a replenishment order after your launch. So you don't want to be waiting on your money all that time. So we recommend that you prime your account. To do this, you go on there. You've already put in all of your inventory into Bless, so you can pick from any item on there, right? Sell yourself a pair of leggings because it's the cheapest item. You're going to put it in your cart, discount it by $20 so that you're only paying maybe $5 for that pair of leggings. The process to do this is also in a video on the team page, how to give an invoice, how to discount a product, all of that good stuff. Make sure that you've been watching those videos. So you discount it by $5, you go to the next page, you check out, and you can either pay right there with a credit card or send yourself the invoice. It doesn't matter how you do it. But once you make that purchase, then that clock starts ticking for that very first deposit. Once you see the money, now you've paid $5 for this pair of leggings. Remember that you're not getting $5 back. It's not going to be a $5 deposit back into your bank account because LuLaRoe is going to take taxes and the credit card processing fee. Okay, so you're going to see a deposit for like $413 or something like that, depending on the taxes for your state. And that's how you prime your account. Now, when you do that, you are already practicing sending an invoice, right? So you've already seen how to pick the product and that you can't forget shipping if it's not somebody local. You already know how to discount. At this time, also make sure that the tax is set correctly for your state. A couple of my girls who have onboarded recently have noticed that tax was not included, and they didn't realize this until their very first sale, the day that they launched, and then it's kind of like, I need to call home office, but it's already late or it's a weekend. What do I do? Make sure that all of that good stuff is set up for you before it's really go time. Okay, so you want to confirm that the tax is set correctly, and you want to practice sending that invoice. If you don't know, sometimes some customers have a hard time receiving their invoices for whatever reason. Sometimes they just simply misspelled their email. There's a typo in there somewhere and it wasn't delivered. AOL customers, for some odd reason, have a harder time receiving invoices. I don't know what it is about AOL. Maybe it's because it's not the 90s anymore. Like, who uses AOL? But, well, I use Hotmail, and the other day I heard that only older people use that as well, so I guess I can't say much. But if you need to send a direct invoice because they're not receiving it, there is all of the instructions in a file in our team page, okay? If you still have any questions about that, ask your sponsor. She should be able to guide you exactly to the place that it shows you how to do it and give you the link on how to do it. So it's totally okay. Don't freak out. Customer doesn't receive invoice. You can just send that direct link even through the Facebook Messenger app, okay? And usually if that happens with my customers, they'll receive it and they'll pay it right away, no problems. Another thing that you may want to practice is transferring the Google form entries into a spreadsheet. So your customer, say you launched and your customer put in all their information and now you're like, what do I do with this? You're going to want to make that into a spreadsheet. Do you know how to do that? Do you know that process? Okay, so for these kind of processes, I suggest YouTube. I suggest the Team Unicorn Wrangler training videos. They have all of those step-by-step instructions for you regarding the Google form. I can make my own video and post it to the team page if you guys want. I have no problem doing that, but it's just going to be the exact same thing that's already out there. So I find that most of the time, if I don't know how to do something like that, I kind of pull up YouTube on my iPad, have it right next to my computer, and follow along with the video. And once I've done it a couple of times, it just becomes second nature. So you want to practice that. And if you're using Shipping Easy, you may want to practice how to download the Google Form spreadsheet into a CSV file. It's called the comma separated value file. That's how it's imported into Shipping Easy, so that you can do batch shipping. So you don't have to input each order manually, one by one. Let me tell you something. I did not know that this was a feature. And so I've been in business like 4.5 months. For 3 months of this business, I put orders manually, one by one. And when I found out that that was not necessary, I kicked myself a little because I could have saved easily 300 hours over the last 3 months by doing it as one file. It was mind-blowing and life-changing to me. So I am passing that wisdom to you so you know to do it right from the get-go. All right, so that's something that you may want to familiarize yourself with. I know exactly how it works for Shipping Easy. I can show you for Shipping Easy, but I know that not everybody uses that program. For Stamps.com, or maybe the other one, the one that comes with the Dymo, Indicia, however you pronounce it, then you guys would have to, again, turn to Google or turn to YouTube and look for tutorials on that for those programs, okay? And then lastly, your Dymo label printer. Go ahead and install it. Go ahead and practice printing a label, a real one, because I didn't do that until the day after my launch. I figured, everybody said the Dymo is super easy. Once you send it to the Dymo, those labels start like spitting out automatically, and they do once they're set up. The day after my launch, I had a bunch of packages ready to mail. I had promised to my customers that they would be at the post office by 11 a.m. And I found myself at 1 o'clock in the afternoon surrounded by packages, a Dymo that I could not get to print, and tears rolling down my face. I remember calling my husband, and he's like, "What's the matter?" And I said, "I can't get this to work. Nothing. This is terrible. It's the worst that could have happened. These packages will not be out on time. Nobody's ever going to shop with me again because I can't stay true to my word." And he was just like, as always, the voice of reason. He said, "Calm down. I'm going to take my lunch break right now. I'm going to come home and we'll figure it out." And it just turned out that I ended up having to call Dymo customer support. Do it. They are amazing. If you have any issues at all with your Dymo, don't waste your time going to the team chat or any of that stuff. Call them because they are amazing, super helpful, quick. It turned out that I had installed the Dymo with the disc that it comes with. And because I have a Mac, I should have done it from the website. The disc doesn't work on the Mac. It only, like you should always do the website software installation, but they walked me through uninstalling it and making sure that I deleted everything and some files that were hidden and everything like that, cleared out my computer, restarted. And he stayed on the phone with me through this entire process. Finally, when I plugged it in and he heard those labels finally spitting out, it was good to go. Then he finally hung up. So truly, they're very helpful. Make sure that you do that, okay, ahead of time. Also, sometimes a problem that I see a lot is people will print their labels and they will be printing only like half of it because they're scaled too big, or they'll be this tiny because they're scaled too small. So those are all problems that you may want to foresee and avoid by playing with it ahead of time. Now, your space. You have, I don't even know how many pounds of Lula come in those boxes. Maybe 30 pounds each box. You have 6 boxes. You have like hundreds of pounds of clothing coming your way, right? Where are you going to put it? Is your space set up? Do you know what your Lula room is? If you don't have an entire room, you're going to be working out of the cardboard boxes that they send you the stuff with. In the meantime, totally fine. Plenty of people who are very successful in this business still work out of the cardboard boxes because they have limited space. But those boxes still need to go somewhere, right? And somewhere where your kids are not going to spill juice inside of it, or your cat's not going to climb on top of it and drop hair, or, you know, any of those things. So make sure that you have your space set up. If you've purchased racks and you're going to be setting them up, now's the time to take them out of the boxes, get them, you know, set up. If you've bought the velvet hangers, dip them. I know it is tedious as all get out, especially if you were like me and bought like 300 to begin with. But the black ones, they like give off this fuzz, this black fuzz that just is everywhere in every surface if you don't dip them first. Just fill your tub with water and take them out of the box and dip them and hang them to dry right there in the curtain rod is how I did, the shower curtain rod. And then once they dry, by the time that your inventory arrives, they'll be dry and ready to go. And that will just kind of clear off that initial layer of just black dust that's in those hangers. All right. Is it absolutely necessary? No. Is it so bad that it's going to stain your clothing when you hang them up if you haven't dipped it? No. But it's going to make a lot of dust in your surfaces. Trust me on that. Legging storage solutions. You're going to want to have something set up for that. Are you going to be rolling your leggings maybe in a bookcase and displaying them that way? Are you going to be keeping them in the boxes? Are you going to put them in drawers? So, you know, say you went to IKEA and you purchased a dresser. Now's the time to put that dresser together, right? So you want to have all of that set up. Another thing is your lighting kit, your camera, your tripod, your iPod, whatever it is, iPod. Does anybody even have one of those nowadays anymore? All of those things, whatever it is that you've chosen to use to take photos with. And if you are using a lighting kit, go ahead and play with that right now. The lighting kit for me was much harder to figure out than I thought it was going to be. I do great photography in natural lighting. I think it's just easier for me. My space in particular has 2 huge windows, plus like these openings above the windows that let in even more natural light. It is a wide enough space that I can move my racks around to make all of the space around my mannequin, you know, just free of clutter. So I always take my photos in daylight, natural light. My lighting kit is just kind of tucked away in the gym, and I never use it because I couldn't figure out how to not make it make shadows, and I thought that it yellowed, my pictures a little bit. So I did what was easier for me. I know that not everybody has a ton of natural lighting in their house. Not everybody is able to take pictures during the day. Some of you work during the day and you can only take pictures after 8 o'clock when the kids are in bed. So make sure that you play around with your lighting kit. Make sure that you play around with your camera, especially if you've bought a new camera, which is absolutely not necessary. But if say you did, you want to play around with that and mess with that, because pictures take forever. So they take longer than you think, and they are more exhausting than you think the first couple of times around. It kind of becomes okay after a while once you get the hang of it. But that first day, my initial inventory took me 12 hours to photograph, just putting in and out of mannequin, and especially those extra small pieces. Man, it took me forever to dress and undress that mannequin. So you want to make sure that you play with all of that ahead of time. An idea that I put here that many girls do is, this is a moment to share with your VIPs, okay? So say you've opened that Facebook group. You've announced that you are now official. These girls are excited. These girls have seen new consultants on board and get fabulous inventory and not have to share it with 25,000 other people, because those of us starting have smaller groups. And so it's their chance to get their hands on fabulous prints, and they want to know what you have, when you have it coming, what are you doing to get ready for it, and Show your passion, show your excitement, and they'll get excited with you. So a great idea to share is having them help you name your mannequin if you are using one. And realize that everybody is using one, but if you are, do a Name My Mannequin giveaway. It doesn't have to be anything big, but just something to get that interaction going. And my girls helped me name mine Rosie, and Roesie. And so now when I'm live and they see Rosie in the background, they feel like, oh, Rosie looks so beautiful today. And they're just excited that they helped pick out that name. And it's just another way for them to be able to relate to you. So just a little idea there to make it more fun. I'm talking about your group. I've already told you, get them excited. Get them to participate in this moment with you. Go live. Go live to tell them that you onboarded. Go live to see, hey, do you guys have any questions? Who's new to LuLaRoe? Maybe you really want to try a Nirma, but you hear that it's, runs super big. Let me help you with that sizing issue. Maybe they want to ask you, hey, if I ask you to pair, some leggings for me, will you be okay with helping me match it? Tell them, and I hope that you will be happy to help them because that's what we do, right? We're fashion consultants, and it is our job to help these ladies see the potential in these clothes. A lot of women are intimidated by the patterns and the bold colors because they don't see the potential. They think, oh my gosh, I see this pattern. I can only wear it with solid black leggings. No, help them see how much further you can take it. Help them see how they can maybe tie that Julia, wear it as a tunic, layer it, put a Sarah over it. Maybe you don't have all those items in your shop yet, but that's fine. They probably already have a sweater in their closet. They probably already have a denim jacket in their closet. Now that it's fall, they probably have leather jackets and boots and belts and necklaces. I mean, it's not like they have no other clothes starting out, right? So help them see the potential. Set your album launch date or maybe your first live sale. Let them know, when is that going to be? Because if you just tell them, hey, I got my inventory, crickets, crickets, crickets. They're not going to come back to see what you've got going on, right? But if they know when it's going to be up, they will be keeping an eye on it. I know that as a customer, I always did. Start booking those private hostess events, be it in home, be it online. Now that you are for sure have inventory on the way, get them excited. Maybe say, okay, I'm so excited that I'm official. I want to make sure that I start off with a bang. My very first hostess gets a special incentive. And instead of doing one free pair of leggings, maybe you do two. Maybe you're more generous in the discount that you give that hostess or her hostess reward. Get those parties booked, get them coming, get them excited to shop with you. Show them all the styles that you're going to be carrying. One of my ladies, Jody, did a fabulous, fabulous job doing small videos each day. And she featured the styles. She went live, right? She featured the style and she talked about it with her group. And you should see the comments. The feedback that she got was excellent. And what she did, she attracted a lot of ladies who are brand new to LuLaRoe, because a lot of the veteran ladies, they're like, I don't need to hear about an Irma. I already know about an Irma. I just want to know, when can I get it? How can I get my hands on it? How can I be quick about it and get in, get out, right? But she attracted those new ladies who they're like, okay, I don't know what an Irma is, but I'm afraid to ask because all those other ladies already know, and I don't want to seem like I'm not part of the cool girls club, right? So introduce your customers to the styles. Like, look at it as if every single person in there is brand new. Explain to them what it is. Talk about the pricing. Talk about why you think that piece, it's worth its value. I hear a lot, why would I buy LuLaRoe leggings for $25 when I can go to Walmart and get them for $7? Well, if you don't know why our leggings are worth $25, your customer will not believe why they're $25. Talk about the material. Talk about the double brushing process that makes them so soft. Talk about the designs. How many designs is Patrick and our design team putting out a day? And, you know, talk about Patrick's background and what he designed for and his caliber, and explain to people why we are worth that price. Some ladies do 1 week of giveaways. So say you have, I think, 6 or 7 styles coming in your initial package now. For each day of the week, between your onboarding call and the day that you launch, they give away one of those styles, right? As a way to introduce them to the ladies. Maybe you can do it for, hey, one Cassie for anybody that adds a friend to my group. Or today we're giving away a Randy who has never had a Randy before. Or where are my baseball fans, right? Like, I'm going to give a Randy to one of my baseball fans because it's a baseball tee and whatnot. So just make it fun, make it be creative, think out of the box, and offer them something that no one else can. All 47,000 consultants today can offer your customer a Randy tee. What can you offer with that tee that's going to set you apart and make your customers see that you're willing to go above and beyond? Okay? And sneak peeks, ladies. Once those boxes arrive, show them. Okay? Of course, you don't want to give away all the goodies, but post pictures of those boxes on your front porch. Maybe go live real quick, open one box and do an unboxing of all the Julias, because the boxes come separated by category. By the way, this is the only time that your boxes will come separated by category. After your initial shipment, everything you order will come mixed in. So say you know, after your initial, you also order leggings, Julias, and Randys. It will not come in 3 separate boxes. If it's enough pieces that will all fit in one box, they will come in that one box. But for this initial one, you do get your separate styles, one in each box. Open one of your boxes. Let them see what's in it. Let them see your reaction as you're seeing it for the first time. Because once again, they see you love it. They see you excited. They'll be excited. Okay? So definitely you cannot go wrong with the sneak peeks. That's how I got my group super excited to be there for launch day. And let's talk about a few things that you can expect or that may happen once those boxes hit your front porch. Dupes. I can't talk about dupes enough, because I feel like a lot of women are seeing them as the absolute worst thing that can happen to you. And in my eyes, a dupe is actually one of the best things that can happen to you, because I get a duplicate print. First of all, keep in mind that if you have the same print in different sizes, that's not a duplicate. That is now appealing to a wider customer base. Because as a consumer, there's nothing more frustrating than going to a pop-up, seeing what I love in an extra small, and not having it in a medium. So if you have it in an extra small, a medium, and a large, lucky you. It's awesome, okay? Because then your customer is not going to feel frustrated. She's going to see that amazing print. She's going to first see maybe that it's not in her size. She's going to scroll down and find it in her size, and it will feel like a super sweet score. So that's actually not considered a duplicate. A duplicate is the same print in the same style in the same size. And if that happens to you, put that away. Put that duplicate away, because when that awesome print sells off your rack, you already have something else to substitute it for without having to pay extra money for it, right? Now you don't have to place an extra order for that one piece. You can put that money towards something else that needs beefing up in your inventory. So boom, it's like free stuff. I realize that you already paid for it. It's not indeed free, but trust me, when you pull that dupe out of the closet and put it in your rack, it feels like it's free. It does for me. I do that every Sunday after my pop-up. I go through my tub. I take out anything that we have duplicates of for what's sold, and it's an awesome feeling. So Don't be discouraged by duplicates. If you have way too many, and by way too many, I'm saying like all 10 of your medium Irmas are the same pattern, reach out to one of your local girls. If you have anybody from the team that's local to you, fantastic. If you don't, reach out to the hire team and hire and hire. And if you don't have anybody, even from Team Unicorn Wranglers in your area, most areas now have Facebook groups for consultants. So say, you know, Oahu Consultants. I know that there's a Facebook group for that. I don't have to trade only with girls from the team. Any consultant is going to be willing to do a swap with you because they also want to freshen up their inventory without having to order brand new stuff from the warehouse, right? So reach out to those consultants and work together, and then that way you can bring variety and interest and freshness to both of your inventories at the same time. Help each other out, okay? Dupes are not the end. Please don't treat them as such. Another thing that may happen when that inventory arrives, you may have missing, defective, or back-ordered items. A defective item, there is a form that you fill out to send to LuLaRoe. They're going to require a photograph of the defect. So say you opened it and there's a hole in it, or you opened it like the other day I opened a pair of giraffe leggings. Of course, they had to be like a unicorn pair, but a pair of giraffe leggings, and there's just a black streak right down the middle of the leg. It's not wearable. I can't sell that, right? Just take a picture of it. I believe that they recommend 5 items per form, per submission. I think that's what they say that the recommendation is. To be perfectly honest with you, I have an entire tub of defective items and I have yet to submit a claim because I'm terrible about it. So I don't know. I haven't personally done the process, but I can tell you how to do the process. Do as I say, not as I do. And so you take that photo and you submit that damaged item claim to LuLaRoe. Now, the way that they do it, they have never refunded us for a defective item. They will send you a replacement. So say you sent them a picture of a 2XL Amelia that has a defect, they'll send you another 2XL Amelia. This is LuLaRoe. You are not guaranteed the same print. You know better than that. Even if that was the feather Amelia that everybody loves, I'm sorry. That it sucks. I know it does. Like I said, I just had a pair of unicorn print leggings that has a defect. I probably will not get another unicorn in return. I'll sell that too. That's okay. So you'll receive a replacement for it. Recently, and by recently I mean I think last week, they announced that any missing, defective, or back-ordered items that are not replaced within 4 weeks will be refunded, or not refunded, credited to your account, okay? So you do need to give it at least 4 weeks for that item to be replaced or sent to you. And then if no resolution is given within 4 weeks, if you don't start receiving those packages in the mail, then you will see a credit in your account for that item. When your account is credited, you will receive an email from LuLaRoe letting you know how much the credit was and what item it was for. A missing item is when something is not in your box and there's not a back order slip to go along with it. This is what a back order slip looks like. I think you can still see me, right? Here you go. It says back order on it. It has all of the styles, and then they'll have circled what it is that they didn't have. Now, people say, why would it show available on Build if it was back ordered? This is what happens. Just because you received a back order slip does not mean that LuLaRoe did not have that available at the time at all anywhere in the warehouse. But there is a pick line, okay? And your box starts at the beginning of the line and it goes down. Just imagine like, you know, an assembly line. And so somebody's picking your Irmas and somebody else is picking your Cassies and whatnot and blah, blah, blah. Well, it gets down to the Sarah and the bin where they pull the Sarah from is empty. It just means that they have not restocked that bin. That is still coming from the back of the warehouse somewhere, but they can't sit there and stop your box and wait for that process, because imagine how many more thousands of orders are trying to get through that line in just for that day, right? So they're going to continue sending your box. They'll put a back order slip in it. They know you need that, Sarah. They will send it out when it's replenished. Okay, so that's what happens. That's why you get back order slips in your box. Does not necessarily mean that the warehouse is completely out of it. Now, so that slip is when an item is back ordered. If it is missing completely, it is no item and no back order slip. In that instance, in the instance of a missing item, you send an email to the appropriate email address, which is listed in the team page. I can link it down below once I post this whole presentation to the album for you guys, okay? But there is an email that you send. You just say, hi, you know, my consultant ID is such and such. This is my name. This is the order number. Such and such items were not in my box, and there was no back order slip to go along with it. Please just see that this is resolved as soon as possible. You know, no need to be rude. The people that are going to read your email are not the ones that sent your box without the item. Just remember that they are all working very, very, very hard for us. And I know that we have businesses to run and we are working hard too. And I get being frustrated when every single box comes with something missing, but they'll make it right. If they don't send you the item, they will credit your account eventually, okay? So it will be okay. You do still have 298 other pieces to sell, even if 2 came missing. So work on those. My advice is that you cannot be over prepared for launch. Like I said, I didn't play with my Dymo enough. I didn't practice sending an invoice enough. I thought that just from watching the videos, I was okay. I wish that I had gotten more hands-on experience and done it myself a couple of times. It would have just made the process smoother. Like I said, pictures take longer than you think because you have just so much at once. All those pieces, 300 at a minimum if you purchase the smallest package. Plus if you did add-ons. So then you are for the very first time figuring out what angle are you going to put your mannequin? How is this lighting from the window, contrasting with the lighting that's coming from your umbrella and whatnot? And those are the things that I'm telling you. Play with that before your inventory arrives. It's already overwhelming enough as it is. On the day of, you don't want to leave all this other stuff to also concern yourself with at that time, okay? Now, let's talk goals. I think that it's important to know the difference between expectations and goals. An expectation, a goal you have written down, you have thought realistically about your resources and how much you're willing to put in and how much you're willing to do and what results can come of it. And an expectation really isn't founded on your reality, okay? So set some goals for yourself. You have this many pieces. How many do you want to sell? Oh, I want to sell 60 at launch. That's a lofty, fantastic goal. Are you being realistic about it? Do you have a group of 100 people or do you have a group of 10,000 people? Because that will matter. If you have a group of 100 pieces, of 100 people, it is unlikely that 60% of them are going to purchase something that day. On average, you only reach about 10% or less of your audience each time that you sell something. So be realistic about your goals, set them, go after them, work for them, but don't fall into the comparison trap. Just because so-and-so sold X amount on the day of her launch does not mean that that's what you should expect to do. Okay? So I just want to make that very clear. If you don't do what XYZ did, it does not mean that you went wrong somewhere, or that there's a failure, or that your business is doomed to fall right before it even starts. Just, it's time to go back to the drawing board, see what it is that maybe you're welcome to trade ideas with them. Go to them and say, okay, let's compare. Not compare in the sense of like, oh, I'm comparing myself to you, but it's like, let's compare notes so I can see maybe where I can improve, or what I should do differently, or how can I grow, or did I not have enough variety? Did I not hype up my launch enough? Did I not make enough of an effort to get the word out there? Things like that matter, and they make a difference. So set realistic goals and work for them, reach them, crush them, and then set bigger ones, because that's how you're going to grow. After launch, actually before launch, my recommendation is already have a plan in place for when you're going to reorder and what you're going to reorder. Okay, because once you launch, like I said, it's going to take a couple of days for the money to actually drop into your account. So then you are waiting those days to place your order, and then you're waiting for the order to be shipped and for UPS to deliver it. So from the day of your launch to the day that you have new inventory coming in, how big of a stretch of time is that going to be? If possible, plan ahead so that you've already placed an order maybe before launch. If you chose to invest more money from the get-go, maybe that's what you do. That's what I did. I purchased an additional line on the date of my onboarding call, but I didn't launch with that line. I chose to leave that line for the sale after launch, because then I had something new and exciting, and it was something that people would come for that they hadn't seen before. And that kind of carried me over and put a little excitement in the middle of that dull period where I didn't have other new inventory arriving. Okay, so that's an idea for you. Think about that. Your goal should be sell 25 pieces, reorder 33. I loved that idea. I heard Autumn talk about it in one of her more recent videos, and I thought it was fantastic because it encourages you to order small, which is what I always recommend you do. Even if you sell, say you have a booming sale and you sell 100 pieces and you have enough money to reorder 200, do not place one 200 piece order. Place maybe, like 3, 4, 5 small 33 piece orders over a period of 1 week until you add up to that 200, because that way you're getting more variety and you are getting a constant flow of new inventory, which I think matters. It's more important to have a little bit of new inventory each time than a whole bunch of inventory at once and then a big dull period of nothing to show that's new and exciting and that's going to draw the eyes to your page. Okay, so that would be my advice, is to already have a reordering plan in place. Now you've done all this work, you've managed your inventory, and you've set up your space, and you've hyped up your launch, and you've talked to your group, and the excitement is built up, and you've opened those boxes, and you're like, oh my God, I love it all. And you have let me know if any of my unicorns showed in your box, right? Like you give me a call and sent me a message. But launch day is here. You've set your date. It's here. It's go time. How to do it. The preloading of albums and Facebook jail is a common question and concern. So what is Facebook jail? What happens is Facebook sees your activity and monitors activity to avoid spammers, right? And like these robots that kind of spam people with pictures and posts and whatnot. So when you post too many albums with too many pictures all at once, Facebook doesn't know that you are a LuLaRoe consultant on launch day. Facebook thinks you're a spammer. Okay, because now you're just putting so much information out there in so little time that it's just kind of tripping a red light on the system. So then it can get you in Facebook jail. First sign that you are going too fast is when you start getting there's an error message, and it says, there's two kinds that I've seen recently. One of them will pop up a window, and it will have like a block of 9 images, and it will say, click on every image that has a lion. And then you have to click, because if you are manually clicking, then the system will know, okay, there's actually a person behind this screen clicking on here and trying to upload those pictures. It's not a robot, right? Because if it was a robot, it will try to bypass that because it wasn't counting on that security message popping up. Another one that comes up is the CAPTCHA, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but where you put, it has jumbled numbers and letters, and it asks you to put what you're reading in a little box. So then you have to type what that code is in the box. If you get those messages, you're going too fast. Slow down, take your time, preload your albums. What we mean by that is you open a tab, you go to Facebook, go to Photos, you open a tab. That's going to be your Irma tab. Load your Irmas as if you are about to post your album, but don't hit post. 15, 30 minutes later, open another tab. And in that tab, load your Cassies. Don't hit post. Then another 25 minutes later, open another tab, and so on and so forth for each style. Now, it hasn't been quite as easy, and you need to be prepared for that because Facebook has been making it more difficult. I was able to, in the beginning, do it just like what I'm telling you, when I didn't have so many pieces of inventory on hand. I have over 1,000 pieces today, so each one of my albums have 50 or 60 pictures. It's not letting me load more than 20 photos at a time per tab. So just know ahead of time, because if you know ahead of time, you can't be frustrated with it. You already know it's coming and you're prepared for it. You may have to upload the first 20 and then add the remaining pictures to it after that first 20 have posted. Does that make sense? So just take your time, go slow, let your customers know, okay? Maybe post a posting order. Let them know I'm going to be posting first Cassie's, then Julia's, then Randy's, blah, 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 last leggings. Or you're going to start with leggings and then outfits and then dresses and then skirts. Let them know. Don't leave them hanging, because if I go to a launch party and it says at 1 o'clock you're posting albums and it's 1:30 and I don't see an album, I'm leaving because I think you forgot. I'm not staying there. Nobody has that kind of time. But if you let me know, okay, then I'll be back in 5 minutes when this is supposed to be posted. All right, so communicate with your customers, prepare ahead of time, and know that this can happen. Okay, so preloading the albums is an idea that we use. Another thing that some people use is the window shopping, where you post everything, but customers cannot comment on it until the start time. My only thing with suggesting that method is that you give people a chance to give up on the purchase. Our business thrives on creating a sense of urgency. Once that picture has been posted for the last 2 hours, and I've already stared at it long enough that I decided I can do without it, you've already lost the sale. So just try to find your sweet spot. You know of your time and how much of it you can give. Do you have a whole day to preload albums, or do you not have that time? Make your business work for you, but be aware that these are issues that you may encounter. If you think that this is just too much and you don't like it and Facebook sucks, that's totally fine. That is why it's a home-based business. Book in homes, okay? Do hostess parties. Go to the hostess house, home. Do it in your house. Do open house shopping hours. Do vendor events. Facebook is not the end all and be all of your business. Okay, so no need to panic there. The fan pages. I recommend posting your launch party on the fan pages, but please be aware of the posting guidelines. Team Unicorn Wranglers has very specific guidelines that you must follow. They also have a hashtag that you have to include in your posts for them to be approved onto the fan page. That hashtag changes, I believe, every 3 days. And so you have to find out what that hashtag is before your post will be approved. Otherwise, it won't be. For the Stop, Drop, and Row fan page, you are not allowed to post 24 hours before, after, or during a multi-consultant sale that's being held on the site. So just keep in mind those posting rules, and don't encourage commenting on your posts. Don't keep your post bumped to the top, because it's going to hide everyone else's posts that are also trying to advertise. And we're not trying to undercut one another, right? That's not the culture. That's not what we're all about. So just make sure that you please follow the guidelines, but make use of those fan pages. Bring the eyes to your page, build the excitement, share the goodies you have, and they will come. Make a check-in post. There was a number put out. I don't remember exactly what the percentage was, but somebody said that the days that they made a check-in post, they sold X% more than the days that they didn't have a check-in post. I can try to find that for you guys, exactly how much it was. But I want to say it was like as much as 50% more or something crazy like that. So make your check-in posts. I do mine no more than 15 to 30 minutes before my albums go up. I find that the days that I made it an hour before, it was too long. People commented on it and then forgot about it because they went to cook dinner or make a bottle for the baby or fold a load of laundry, and then it was, gone from their minds. So 15 to 30 minutes is the sweet spot. And what I did in the beginning with my check-in post is include a little giveaway in there. So you don't have to give away a pair of leggings each time. You don't have to give away a $25 item. Give away $5 Lula Cash even, because Lula Cash doesn't actually cost you anything. Okay, you're not like going to Starbucks and paying $10 for a gift card. Although if you want to make that one of your giveaways, also great idea. So I included that in the beginning to encourage people to comment on that post, because the more people commented, then the more people saw it in their news feed and were like, oh, wait, check in. This person is launching. Fantastic. I'm going to be there. All right. So that's what you want to build and make that post for. Please don't post your albums and then leave the house. Be available to answer questions for your customers. There will be questions. There's always questions. Sometimes there's the same question every week on the same item until that item sells. But it's what gets the eyes on that item and gets it to sell eventually. All right? If you post something and you launched at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and I commented on it at 2:05 and it took you until 9 o'clock in the evening to respond back to me, I've already given up on it. I most likely already found it in someone else's page that also posted at 2 o'clock. Because that's another thing too. We all tend to post around the same times. So if you post your stuff and you leave it unattended, people will find it somewhere else because they don't have 6 hours to wait for an answer. So be available to your customers. Launch at a time that you can be there and available and able to answer their questions. All right? This is your job. If you treat it like a hobby, it will treat you back like a hobby. If you treat it as a business, then it will compensate you as a business. Most of all, have fun. Love it, believe in it, and it will pay off. And share with me your results, because I love hearing about launch days and how it all goes and how much you sold and what you liked and what you didn't like. Reach out to your sponsor. Let them know. Say, I was so surprised with this and I loved it, but I'm really bummed about this and this. Help me out. How should I change it? What should I do? Let's brainstorm. Let's make it better for next time, because even one step ahead each time is a step in the right direction. All right? So now, open for questions. You guys can let me know if you have any. Just unmute yourselves and let me know. Hold on. It is, oh, there you go. You're unmuted. Go.
Okay. So how do you handle a situation like if you're doing your album sale and it's a item that multiple people comment on, and the first person doesn't fill out the Google document, or how do you move on to the next person?
I always, I give my customers 12 hours to fill out the form, 24 to pay. So some consultants, though, only give them 2 hours to fill out the Google form, and that is something that you can put in your pinned post.
Okay.
You know, if you are going to make it where you have that, you know, shorter window frame, I personally would make sure that it's written somewhere. So people like, oh, I thought I had until the end of the sale and I wasn't done shopping and whatnot.
Okay. The same with if it's an item and they don't pay for it and you have multiple people, how do you just email that person and tell them it's available since the sale's over?
If I always invoice, I post my albums at 2:00 our time here in Hawaii. I invoice by 7 p.m. I actually try to invoice as the pop-up is like just starting to slow down. So I start invoicing within a couple of hours. I'm always done invoicing by 7 p.m. so that when I wake up in the morning, I know that invoice has already been sent about 10 to 12 hours before. If it's not paid, I go ahead and tag them. Because I always post a invoicing complete sign on my page. I use that sign. I tag them below. Okay, I don't tag them like super publicly on the page. I don't make like a special post with their name on it. I just tag them in the comments and I let them know, hey ladies, your invoice was sent last night. Please let me know if there's been any issues with it. 99% of the time, they will say, I didn't receive it. And in which case you can do the direct link.
Right.
Or they will say, oh my goodness, I completely forgot. Thank you so much. You know, or they will say, oh my goodness, I did find it in my junk folder. So most of the time it really is just a matter of just nudging them in the right direction. What else, ladies? Another thing that I don't think I covered, but that I would suggest with the whole Facebook jail thing, make someone else that you trust, maybe your husband or your sponsor, an admin on your page, so that if by any chance your account gets locked out, you still have access to posting and answering customers' questions, okay? Because there's no worse thing than just being completely unable to manage your VIP page. I think that happened to Morgan back when she was still in queue, thankfully. When she was building her page, she was put in jail for like an insane amount of time. And she was able to still kind of manage it because she had made an account in her husband's name and made that into an admin. So that's a good idea to do. Have someone else that you trust. Or yourself just with a second profile. Okay. As far as chasing invoices, it was a lesson learned for me. I always had in my pinned posts that, you know, you had 24 to 48 hours to pay. And eventually I found that some people, if you give an inch, they take a mile. And then the 48 hours became 72, and then it became a week. And then they lost their card, and then their mom died. And then the same mom died the following week. And I didn't really understand how many moms they had. And it had been like 2 weeks since the sale, and I still had no payment. And I felt bad telling them that I couldn't hold it. But once again, it comes down to it's a business, and businesses have some sucky parts. And one of the sucky parts is saying, I'm going to stick to my guns. My pinned post says now 24 hours. This is what I'm going to go by. Okay? If you pass that, I've already tagged you once. I always give them the courtesy of a tag first. But if I've already tagged you once, I'm not going to chase you. I don't want to buy it. I have the Carly. Like if I want to wear it, I'll put it on right now. It's in my hands. You want the Carly. You need to pay for it. Okay. And especially if it's an item that has several necks after it, it's not, you're not going to lose a sale over it. So stick to your guns, because remember, you also want to be fair across the board. If you make an exception and you let someone take 3 days, then why can't you let everyone else take 3 days? Okay. Any other questions? All right. I hope that this was helpful. I will be posting it. It takes a little bit for this video to convert into something that I can post to the page. So it may be tonight when I finally get it all up. Under each slide, I will post the corresponding like videos. Like I told you, I have training videos for how to do your Google form, how to convert it into a CSV file, how to make it into a spreadsheet. I will put it all in there. Hopefully you will have all the information in one place, and it will be super easy. That day that you get your call, you tune in right here, and we get this party started. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your time, and I'll see you later.